Hi guys! So previously we did the things we wish we knew before buying our house video, and we got quite a number of comments and insights and experiences that people shared in the comment section, and also like they privately messaged me on Instagram. So there were a lot of pointers that I felt were very helpful. So for me, I think the most difficult part is when I don't know what I don't know. It's like in school, right? You learn a new subject or a topic and you don't know what questions to even ask your teacher, but you just know that you are super clueless about everything. So hopefully today's videos, when we share the insights and experiences and different opinions from different people, you guys know what to Google search for, because a lot of this information are available online. So after hearing people's experiences, I think you guys will have a clearer idea on what you want to look out for.
Comment by Sean is, he mentioned that all real estate agents basically tell you that HDB loan versus bank loan, okay, the foreclosure and stuff, it's just a story that does not really matter. Foreclosure will happen regardless of your loan source. That means that even if you delay a month or two, it makes no difference. HDB or the bank will still look for you. So he also mentioned that it's not guaranteed. The only reason HDB takes longer is because there are more processes for HDB to like contact you, and then you need to pay out the monthly mortgage that you owe us. It's not out of the goodness of the organization.
So this is from Andrew Wee. He said, think HDB's loan interest as paying back your CPF interest rate. It is because if you do sell the house, the proceeds will go back to your own CPF account. That means that all the monies you are investing on your house, which appreciated as years pass, is fully protected against bankruptcy. Whereas bank loans are impassionate if you can't repay the loan. As I've experienced multiple retrenchment in my Singapore life, like economic downturns such as epidemics and whatnot, it is better if you are prepared against these frequent future disasters. So using HDB loans for repayment have helped me with cushioning these impacts. It even allows you to redeem your loans early when you have excess cash in future. And he's speaking about this from his personal experience lah. Okay, he did say that there is something that happened in 2003 during SARS. He got retrenched, and he still managed to pay his HDB loan because they made an exception for him. He said, I went to HDB and managed to negotiate and got an approval on something unwritten. They approved on me using my SA for my HDB loan, which have been stated that it was not for loan for HDB lah. So the SA 4% repaying 2.6% loan, it was a case-by-case approval. So he said he was quite lucky on this. So this is just from his personal experience. Like we mentioned, got people say it's not guaranteed and whatnot.
Yes. So
case-by-case lah.
And there's one comment from Timothy. Okay, he mentioned that one of the cons of the bank loans is that there is usually a prepayment penalty clause. That means if you were to pay off the principal with any spare cash that you have, that means like suddenly
you feel like, okay,
I win Toto, I got a windfall, or like my investment made money and stuff like that, okay, they will still charge you the additional interest. Even if you pay now, you will still have to
pay the
fork up the interest, the full interest.
Yeah, this is actually true for our car loan, because we took a bank loan for our car.
Yes.
And then we tried to call the bank to see like
whether we can
reduce the interest rate by paying off a bigger amount quicker. And then they said, oh no, even if you were to pay off the entire sum right now, you will have to still pay the same amount of interest rate. Yeah. So for us, this was for
it's already fixed already lah. There's nothing we can do already. So we just
took our time. Like we are slowly paying
money
the car
pay
loan.
Yeah.
So this is something to consider when you are thinking about bank loan or HDB loan. Like for our HDB loan, personally, we tried to pay off lump sums. And
we receive a letter from HDB.
Yeah, to say that thank you for your payment of this amount, and then your loan period has been reduced to this. This comment is in reply to Timothy's comment, saying that I believe that's not the case when your lock-in period is over, and there's even products from the bank that even offers partial payment within the lock-in period. Yeah, so I think for those who are looking for bank loan, these are questions that you should be asking.
The banks.
Yeah, the bank.
Okay, from Josh Tan. So he mentioned, good sharing guys, thank you. At the current moment, bank loans are cheaper, and the risk of interest rate spike is still relatively low because of the pandemic. Okay, so there are indeed minimum quantum size of loan and higher legal and valuation fee. HDB loans, however, have a lot more flexibility, especially in early repayments and mortgage redemption. So keep the first 20k inside CPF, and it delivers 3.5% interest per annum, with the extra 1% which goes to SA eventually. So hope it helps.
Yeah, so this one is also tied with the CPF, the conversation about CPF,
Yep.
and there are a lot of people who are praising CPF for their interest rates and whatnot.
Yes.
So while a lot of young couples think, oh, I'm going to pay my whole house with CPF.
So wipe out my CPF and
Yeah.
pay. That's what we did.
Yeah,
earlier.
we didn't know initially. So we paid quite a big sum with CPF, like just wipe out.
Then
But
we
now
realised.
we are like, oh my god, I want to like get back my CPF money. Can I do that?
So manually top up your CPF lor.
This is from Xuan Lin, and she said that about the housing grant, yes, you will need to pay back the housing grant with interest if you were to sell the house. But you will pay it back to your CPF account, and you can still use it for the purchase of your next home.
Yes.
So this is because we were mentioning about the accrued interest, that people are worried that if I pay my home with CPF and then the accrued interest accumulate over the years, ultimately this money is still yours. It goes back into your CPF account. It's just that you need to take money from your bank account and put it into CPF. And some people just don't really like the lack of liquidity of it. CPF money is still your money. It's just that
you cannot touch the money.
Yes, unless you are buying your next home, which most people, they sell their home, they'll buy a new one, right?
So there's another comment by LYWW. Okay, that's a random comment. Trying to pay off your housing loan first ASAP. Following that, regardless if you're planning to sell a house in the future, as long as you are financially capable, try to put back the money you borrowed from your CPF account to pay your house.
To your CPF.
To your CPF. Reason being, if in any case you decide to sell a house, you have to pay back lesser accrued interest, cause you don't have to find out how to earn the interest to put in the CPF. Then leave the job to
Temasek Holdings to earn you those interest.
Also, once you put back the money into your CPF, the sum will definitely yield 2.6 to 4% interest, and all this contribute to your retirement plan eventually. So this is some sort of like a passive investment. Top up your MA to max as soon as possible. This is because as you work, your future MA contribution will ultimately go to your SA. Then you can enjoy more interest rate at SA than at OA account. So after 55 years old,
retirement account, RA,
is created with your SA first instead of OA. If your SA didn't reach the max sum lah.
And in future, if you want to reduce your income tax, you can actually make CPF donation to your parents. So you could use this avenue as an alternative to bank. So if your parents are past 55, they can actually withdraw that anytime.
It's like an to your parents law.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it reduces your own personal income tax.
We didn't know about this, so it was something new that we learned through the comments. So we really appreciate all your comments, because I think we personally do not experience everything, and we don't know everything also. So we are learning along the way. So thank you guys for sharing your experience with us. So this was shared with me by my cousin who is doing insurance. He DM'd me personally, and he said if possible, don't use CPF OA to pay for the monthly loan, use cash. Because the misconception that a lot of people have is CPF is not my money. I want to take out CPF as much as possible. I want to exploit CPF as much as possible. But technically, CPF is still your money, which is parked there for retirement.
So basically, it's your money, but you won't feel the pinch because you don't get the cash.
Correct.
And then after that, I say, okay, I'll use the CPF to pay for the house law. But at the end of the day, right, you're missing out on the interest rate, which is like 2.5%. Okay,
so the advice from my cousin is aggressively transfer money from CPF OA to CPF SA. But keep some money in CPF OA in times of emergency. When cash on hand is tight, you can use CPF OA to repay the home loan for that duration.
And it's very easy for you to switch from cash to CPF. Just log into HDB using your SingPass. And then after that, from there, right, you can choose. Let's say for us, we can choose like 50-50, pay 50-50 using CPF.
I'm unemployed and he's the only one who's employed.
Yes, then I can choose. I can use 100% of mine to change. Then it just take 1 to 2 working days. Then they'll send you a letter and tell you that okay, they have changed already. The payment will be like you'll be paying cash instead from CPF.
This way, SA earns 4% per annum in the long run,
compared to 2.5%,
which is more interest money than the amount paid to HDB for HDB loan.
Yes,
2.5%.
Yeah. So which is, if you put in the bank, how much are you getting? 0.0 something? It's a foolproof thing.
And then he continued to say, but I think the above strategy is more suited for those with regular CPF contribution from yourself or employers. For self-employed, it might not be feasible. Okay? Ideally, pay as much cash as possible and try to hit the full retirement sum for special account, SA, as soon as possible. So that when you turn 55, after full retirement sum is set aside, the remainder of the special account will become a guaranteed 4% yield fixed deposit account. Okay, so this is a bit more in-depth into CPF. Actually, there are people who use CPF to turn into millionaires and whatnot because they know that CPF is still their money. But then the catch is that the liquidity in CPF is not as high as compared to if you have money in maybe certain investments or in your bank. And also he said that don't really need to bother about the accrued interest if you are very unlikely to sell.
Back to the comment section.
This is from Learner, who said, well, it really depends on whether you're going for a family. Sometimes it's not just about the cash, but being near primary schools, eateries, etc. These are factors to consider as well. So for myself, I BTO 9 times and couldn't get, so I went to get a 5-room that can last me for a long time at a fringe area. Looking at the current HDB resale prices, I'm unmotivated to use housing as an investment vehicle at less than 2% return a year. So capital returns are not guaranteed and price falls after the 5-year mark. And if you don't do your calculations right, Sean actually read online that there are cases of people who overestimated, they overestimated how much they will get back in cash when they sell their home. So cash on hand becomes very, very tight and they end up like owing money.
Yeah,
right?
Plus there's one more thing that we recently learned also. This
There's
thing
all the
called
fees
resale
and-
levy. Unless you are those people that you can sell your property, like you always see the news, right? $1 million HDB sales, right?
But it's
Actually,
not
if you
like everybody
it's not everybody that
gets
will,
that kind of luck. And there's also a comment from Jennifer that says condos aren't always money earning treasures. And a comment from Jackie that says if everyone bought their HDB flats with the mindset that they want to make a profit in the future, then these flats will never be affordable for future generation, defeating the purpose of HDB.
Yes.
Yeah. So for people who are considering as an investment and whatnot, do your research first lah.
So from Michi Po, okay, when I got my new house with my hubby, we thought the same as you, to pay off the HDB loan ASAP to save the interest. It's at the point where we are finishing paying HDB loan and the thought of upgrading, we realize that we don't have enough CPF for down payment for the new house, unless you have enough cash saving. So do strike a balance. But if you don't have the intention to move at all, then not a problem. It's really where you see yourself at 8 to 10 years down the road here.
So it's really, like we mentioned, up to your personal preference, like whether you have plans to sell the house or you plan this is going to be your forever home. So for Sean and I, we have been like discussing after the video, so like with so many things to consider, right? We're just really, really glad that we have gotten past the getting a house kind of like stage, and we are comfortably living in our home, although it's not like the biggest, it's not like the prettiest, it's not like whatever
the best
luxurious,
location and stuff like that.
but we are very, very contented that okay, we have a roof over our head. So the next comment is from Selwyn, who said, you talked about paying more interest with the 25-year HDB loan, which consists of paying a lot of interest on top of the price of the flat. What about a shorter loan period, which could mean lesser accumulated interest? Okay, and we also have a comment from 1% at a time, which is relevant to the question. Actually, if you look at the year-by-year breakdown, you are actually paying most of the interest in the first 10 years of the loan and very little of the principal. So if you want to save on interest, you need a super short loan, like 5 years, which is tough.
Yes.
So there isn't much of a difference between a 10-year loan or a 25-year loan, because most of the interest has already been paid. So might as well extend as long as possible. So either do 5 years or do like 25 years or as long as possible according to 1% at a time. So if you guys are good at maths and like accumulated compound interest and whatnot, you all can do your own calculation on this and see what is the best solution for yourself.
Yeah, like for example, if you take if you get a DBSS, and the normal market value now is around 700 plus K.
But then again, it's very hard for people to pay like
in
700K in 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you suddenly strike lottery, then
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But for us, I think our financial capability is not that high, so which is why we aim
plus
small.
unless you're okay to stretch 25 years,
25
but
years.
you have another plans or you have a savings or you have an investment that are raking higher interest than the 2.6% of HDB. So it's more worth it lah. Let's say for example that one got 10% returns, then 2.6% is nothing lah. Then you slowly let it grow there, then you pay here lah. Ken Sim mentioned that you should find an amortization schedule, okay, that can help you track your interest payment. There's also time value of money, since $1 today is worth more tomorrow. If you can get higher return percentage on your saving from other investment, you should not sink all your cash into the mortgage right away. Okay, you should invest cash into stocks, bonds, etc. to let the money grow faster versus interest you are saving. This will help chip away your mortgage in a bigger chunk. So good decision to pay the house up as soon as possible. It's tempting to invest with the money given the bull market in the past 10 years and low interest environment, but this may not last. So peace of mind is something that is not easily bought and can help you excel further in other ways.
So there's like two different sides of this. Like Sean mentioned, there are some investments that can really rake up a very high interest rate, so it can overcome your loan interest rates.
Yeah.
But there are also people who feel like, you know what, I think peace of mind is more important, and I would rather pay off my loan from the HDB or from banks.
So you don't have to like worry for another bill every end of the month. Because definitely you will have like electricity bill, water bill, and then your internet bills and everything. Normally mortgage loans, right, is considered one of the highest one among all the bills.
Like
so if you have
sum.
the big one out, you can like wow.
Agreed on understanding financials before getting a house. A lot of people hopping onto 4-room or 5-room mature BTOs without understanding how much 500 to 600k is and the interest rate that large sum would incur. So one question, did you consider the lease buyback scheme? Your house has about 65 years left. So was that a part of your considerations? So this comment from Elgin, right, we actually didn't even know that there was such a thing called buyback scheme. So we had to look into it a little bit.
Okay, so basically, right, the lease buyback scheme is eligible for people who are 65 and above. Okay, basically it means that if you get a house and then you have the remaining lease, but you know that you won't live until 100 plus years old. Okay, so you can actually choose to sell the part of the years of the lease back to HDB, and they will pay you in cash proceeds. But the money will go into your retirement account.
Okay.
Then after that means your retirement account will get higher, like CPF Life. And then after that, they will pay you month by month. That means you have more money. So something that you can consider. But because we are 30 plus years old and the house is 65, we have around 65 years.
Yeah, so if let's say we really
we might outlive the house if we are healthy.
But maybe 98, I think I already...
Yes.
Yeah,
okay, so if our house lease ends, we are 90 plus years old. And if we are still alive, right? We don't know. So, we have another comment from Boss.
You can rent out a room in your 4-room as you do not have kids yet. Even when my child came, my wife and I decided we did not need the room as our helper can sleep with the baby. So the tenant pays most of our mortgage. Actually, rental is also another way that you can use
for passive income.
Yeah, for passive income and also to reduce your burden of paying for the home. So for people who finish their MOP period, right, they can actually rent out like the entire house and then they stay with their parents.
You can rent out whatever room you have and then you can just keep one room for yourself. After MOP period, after that you can get the passive income from them and then to pay off the mortgage using cash. So which is a wise idea. But it all depends whether you are comfortable doing that or not and you don't mind like sharing the house with people. But this is actually quite advisable for people like our parents. Like for example, my parents. So I move out already, I have our own house already, and then my sister move out already, got married already, and then now she's living on her own. We are living in a 4-room also . So we threw her the idea of like, why not you rent out 2 rooms, then you can stay in 1 room, then you can get money, then you can do what you want. And then she said,
no.
不要啦，我不认识他们 like she don't want and stuff like that. So actually it all comes to whether you're comfortable doing that or not. It's your personal preference.
Financially, you might think, I will get free passive income. But then again, it's also how comfortable you are with it. Like some people value, no, I prefer privacy over sharing a space. Some people just
value the passive income that they are getting.
Correct. It reduces their burden, lesser stress.
So as much as we want to rent out our room out, right? We hacked already the room already. So we have no room. Plus all our doors are glass, so there's totally zero privacy.
When you're renovating your home, don't hack down all the rooms. And this comment is from Born Free, who said that we should have gone for condo. Like we should have kittens first, then have kids, and monthly repayment for condo might be higher, but our income will grow as we grow older with our careers and slowly it will become easier and easier. I think this is also quite true in some cases, especially if your career has a more...
It's very stable.
Yeah, more stable and has a more promising, advancement in career. But for us, I think we are a bit more play safe and kiasu.
Yeah, and plus, you really don't know anything about the future. So, because
Yeah,
anything
for
can
us
happen also.
lah, yeah, like
So-
like we mentioned, his cafe closed down and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
It's really something that we didn't expect,
Yeah, lor.
and there are so many changes in our lives that we don't even know how we can properly predict the future. So we are like
Yes.
more conservative. But if you guys are aiming for condo, don't let anything stop you if you feel that it's the best decision for you.
Yes.
Just do your proper like research and calculations and go for it. Chase your dream home. Okay, so that is all the comments that we wanted to read for today, and we will also share some links that we found that are
Useful.
related to this topic and
Yes.
very useful, and I think it gives a lot of different angles that you guys can consider as well. And thank you guys as usual for all your comments, because we really learn a lot through this entire process.
Yeah,
and
so we
somehow
hope
we
that
kind of wish that we knew earlier, but I guess, you know,
Yeah.
at least we tell you guys, and you guys don't make the same mistakes, and
Yeah.
you can choose a better path
So
for
we
yourself.
basically empty our CPF to pay for
Yeah.
the down payment of the house first, which
But we also
is
use
a
cash
bad
to,
mistake.
Yeah, so we are using cash now to pay lump sum, and if within our means, we will try to
Pay off the house
pay
first.
off the pay off the house first, and then pay the CPF.
Mental stability.
Pay the CPF that we have taken out for our house.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we are also considering investments, because a lot of you guys also agree that, you know, investments have higher returns and whatnot. And we'll also continue to share good lobangs with you guys and things that we've learned along the way. So thank you guys as usual for watching. I hope you guys learned something.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.